Alright, we did passive mobs, we did neutral mobs. Now it's time to jump into the main portion of the actual fun mobs, which is the hostile mobs. So without any further delays and yapping, let's just jump into ranking, because frankly there's just so many goddamn mobs that I have to rank. Which also includes the bosses. Damn, I'm gonna be here for a while. Blaze. Starting off strong, we have the Blaze, and although I really fucking hate him, I can't just give him low score based solely on my prejudice. The Blaze is one of the best and most creative designs in all of Minecraft. Has really cool sounds, which does give him some aura, and on top of that is essential for not only progressing to the end, but also giving you access to the entire potion and brewing system. And compared to some other hostile mobs that I'll talk about later, this guy actually poses some threat to the player due to the fact that his fireballs not only hit you like a truck, but also deal fire, and on top of that, they have insane fucking range. Like, how the fuck did his ass see me from all the way over there? What the fuck? Yeah, the Blaze gets an 8 here. Bogged, one of the newest hostile mobs in the game, and I think he's kinda mediocre. His drops are exactly the same as a skeleton, except he drops poison arrows, which, small side rant, tipped arrows just fucking suck. The whole putting an effect on a bow is mostly for PvP uses, because why would you need poison arrows when a maxed out power and flame bow can one-shot nearly every single mob in the game? And yeah, you can probably justify regeneration tipped arrows, because fine, it gives you regeneration, but I'm not shooting myself to heal when I can just eat food and get more health back in the first place. Anyway, back to the Bug, I'm putting him in C tier. He's cool, but he's just a more annoying skeleton, and frankly, poison enemies of any kind in any game can go fuck themselves. Breeze. I wish these guys spawn outside the trial chambers because they are just way too goddamn cool looking to be stuck in one structure. I think having them spawn in like mountains at night would be very nice, but regardless, his design, top tier. To the point where I'd put him in the top 10 best looking mobs in the entire game. Not gonna say exactly which place because that's a video in the future, but regardless, although a pretty easy mob to fight and kill, it's still unique in the way it fights, and it's not just a walking damage sponge like zombies are. And his drops already bump him up high because it gives you the breeze rod, which you can craft the mace. Still no clue why you need a specific stick to craft the mace, but whatever, tool is a tool. And also wind charges, which are by far one of my most favorite items now. They're so goddamn fun to use. And in total, his drops, the way he looks, the way he fights, just the way you interact with him is so nice. I'm just putting him in S tier. I really love the Breeze. Creaking. Yeah, this guy is boring as shit. Firstly, the Creaking spawns in the Pale Garden at night, and despite the biome looking pretty cool, there's nothing to do there most of the time. I'll just go grab some wood and a sapling, and I'll never visit this biome again because why should I explore the biome that has nothing going on in it? Mojang at the very least could have put some structure in the biome to make me go there for more than 20 seconds, which would justify this mob's existence, but other than that, this mob is just useless. His whole shtick is that he's a Weeping Angel or a SCP-173 or whatever fictional character, you know, that moves only when you don't look at him. Which sounds great on paper, to have a mob that moves when you're not looking at him, but oh, the fear factor goes out the window when you realize this motherfucker does no damage when he actually gets to you. It's so damn stupid, and even when you kill him, which is by destroying the heart in the tree, you get nothing out of it. It's just some damn resin that does nothing. Purely for decoration. Yeah, this guy gets a C tier. Creeper. Well, this is going to be a very interesting section of the video. The Creeper is by far the most iconic mob in the entire game. I mean, he's right there when you boot up the game. His uniqueness and also being part of the core mobs that were, you know, the first released Minecraft, which makes him by far the most popular mob and also the most marketable mob ever since his fuck ass is everywhere. Hell, I, of all people, have a plushie of him, and I'm confident to say that without the Creeper, Minecraft will not be as popular as it is due to just how many clips of people get exploded by him, or just how much content has occurred around the Creeper. He's just iconic, so damn interesting, and he's also a unique design that stemmed from a bug which Nuts tried to make a pig from, which, how the fuck do you mess up that badly? Like, I'm not a person who codes, and I'm not affiliated with that type of stuff, but how do you fuck up making a pig? Right, yeah, seeing as how interesting this mob is, he definitely deserves a B tier. What, you thought I was gonna put this fucker in S tier? Yeah, get out of here. This guy does not deserve S tier at all. He has some good drops, like music discs and a gunpowder, and that's like all I can think about it. But I am not putting this fuck ass in A or S because he should be lucky I put him in B tier. The last thing I want is to spend 10 hours on a build just for this fucker to sneak up on it and blow it up. Or hell, jump from a fucking nowhere and blow me up in a cave. Fuck out of here if you think I'm gonna put this mob anywhere high, if you think just because he's cool and iconic and memorable. The Guardians. I'm putting these two together because frankly there's barely any difference between them. These guys are really underwhelming. The entire point of them is that they guard get it? The Ocean Monument, which is the middest fucking structure in the entire game. Which, in the entire structure alone, there's 8 gold blocks and some sponges. The fact that this monument is more guarded than almost any other structure in Minecraft by these guys, who are not only in groups, but deal crazy ass damage, and on top of that, have mini boss variants, which just ludicrous, because you are telling me that the end city is easier to raid and get all of this loot. Meanwhile, I need to craft a water breathing potion, get good armor, and swim fast enough inside not to get my cheeks clapped by these guys. And even when I'm inside, I still have to fight 3 beefed up versions of the Guardian, who is, by the way, surrounded by multiple fucking small ones, just to get 8 gold and some sponges. Are we fucking dead ass? Now, of course, building aside, these guys ain't all that special. Although I like their design, their drops are next to nothing important. And for some fuck ass reason, the Elder Guardian drops fish and some prismarine and sponges. The only thing valuable from these guys and the entire build is the trim armor, which most of the time ain't even worth it because I could just get a better one in the first place. So both of these guys get C tier. They just barely make it into the mediocre category. And the fuck. Yeah, no, I'm not spending my breath on this guy. He gets an F tier. In fact, I am making it a challenge to see which one of you in the comments can make a bigger ass pool to try and justify this mob's existence, and if he should be anywhere above F. And no, Enderman farms do not count. Try to be original, and please, for the love of God, give me something that this Endermite does apart from farms. Please. Like, I am just curious what this sack of shit can do. God, I'm still choking for the fucking thing, dude. Evoker. Yes! Finally! An actual hostile mob that both looks cool, has a good drop, and is actually somewhat hard to fight. Okay, actually not that hard. The only reason he's hard is because of these fucks, which I'll get into in a bit. But overall, I like that Mojang added more wizard type mob that isn't just Pillager with a certain weapon that charges at you or slowly aims and shoots at you. Until 1.14, where instead of being a rare mob, you could just start a raid and just get the same amount of rewards than tracking 10,000 blocks to a mansion, which justifies why this building is more useless than ever. Whoa. Holy shit. That is a sick mansion, dude. What? Brother, this is sick. Anyway, the Evoker gets an A tier. His drops are really cool. Animation is nice. Design is sick. And he sounds cool. Ghasts. Poor Ghasts. I feel so bad for them. I feel sorry for the amount of times I've killed them, because now I just realized they're just a bunch of sad flying creatures that just want to escape the nether. It's what I would have said if I was a sad little bitch who cares about flying blocks that shoot goddamn explosives at me that make my nether experience worse. Fuck these guys. In fact, kill Ghast, behead Ghast, roundhouse kick Ghast to the concrete, slam dunk a Ghast baby in the trash can, crucify filthy Ghast, defecate into Ghast food, launch Ghast to the sun, stir fry Ghast in a wok, toss Ghast into an active volcano, urinate into Ghast's gas tank, drill throw Ghast into a wooden chipper, twist Ghast's head off. Damn, okay, that's... They don't really... I mean, they... Oh, head. Report Ghast to the IRS. Cry chop Ghast in half. Curb stomp pregnant... Whoa, that kid, that's a little fuck. Trap Ghast into a quicksand. Crush Ghast to the trash compactor. Liquefy Ghast in the vat of acid. Eat Ghast. That's it. Yeah, okay. I think you get the picture. The Ghast as a hostile mob sucks. Not only is he annoying to fight, has a big ass range, creates fire with his fireballs, which I get makes sense, but also causes miniature explosions that always light me up on fire. Really sounds annoying, and Mojang knew all of this and decide to psy up the community into thinking that these Ghasts are actually sad because they're on the nether and look how sad they are. Oh, look how they're crying. I don't fucking care. You are only useful for your drops and your fuck ass disc. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't like how the disc sounds. It sounds so annoying. It also sounds very boring and it just doesn't sound like Minecraft. Yeah, I fucking hate this guy. Fuck this guy. Fuck how he looks. Fuck the way he screams. Fuck his goddamn fireballs. Fuck his goddamn design. And he can go fuck himself. He gets a D tier. Hoglins. This is another mob that isn't straight up dookie. The Hoglin is what Mojang made to be the main source of food in the nether. It's why you saw so many nether survival videos pop up after 1.16, because before that, you didn't have any sort of food sources in there. Now, granted, this is not all the Hoglin has. Okay, it kinda is all the Hoglin has. He can also drop leather, but cows exist, so it's kinda useless. And I ain't gonna spend my whole life in the nether grinding leather from Hoglins of all things. But my final rating would still be B tier, not because of his drops, but because of the fact that Hoglins are really goddamn scary to fight sometimes. The way you fight them is similar to an iron golem, where whenever they hit you, you will just go flying up into the air, and they did pretty sizable damage. Or you could just be a pussy and build up to keep him from hitting you, but I mean, come on, you're not types of speedrunner scums, are you? Whatever. There's also zombified Hoglins, which get D tier because they're kind of the same, but just uglier, and on top of that, have shittier drops. Husks, damn, I really have nothing to say about this mob. I am mainly saving all of my points for the zombie because that is where I'll extensively talk about every zombie type. And even so, the Husk is just a zombie, but brown and in the desert, and also gives you hunger when he hits you, which is such a weird effect. Like, you get your teeth knocked out by a zombie, and suddenly your character's like, I would go for a golden carrot right about now. Anyway, I'm giving the Husk C tier, and I'll explain on him a little bit later on when in the zombie section. Phantom. Yep, this definitely doesn't sound really fucking annoying. I hope some of you can fucking hear me because I sure can't. Someone in Mojang definitely thought this was a good idea. Oh my god, I think my ears are bleeding. I think I might be going fucking insane. Oh my god. Oh my fucking ears are they're still ringing. Oh my god. I think it's not gonna be surprising that this guy is gonna be rated really fucking low. I'm probably gonna put him somewhere in like D tier. I'm probably sure you already know why this guy sucks. And his drop is completely useless ever since the addition of mending. So I'm not gonna waste my time on this flying kite. I just want to move on because, oh my god, I think I've gone deaf. Magma Cube. This is basically a slime, but better in every way except the drops. His design looks better and a lot more dangerous than the normal slime. However, the Magma Cream kind of bumps him down simply because of fire resistance, which is cool. But again, fire resistance is only good for PvP. Because yeah, again, Mojang has buffed food to such an extent that you can just sit in the lava and keep chowing down on food and you'll just live. Because apparently eating a steak is more powerful than a literal fucking fire resistance potion. Anyway, I don't have anything else to say about the Magma Cube. He's cute when he's small, he's scary when he's big, he's annoying when he's big as well. So I don't know, I'm giving him C tier. Piglin Brute. So my dumbass rated this guy into the neutral category in the previous video, even though he's anything but neutral. Anyway, this guy is an easy A tier. The only reason he is not an S is due to the fact that he has no good drops apart from a golden axe, but everything else about him screams aura. One of my favorite designs, paired with the fact that this guy is one of the most dangerous mobs in the entire game. For example, the fucking Wither, a literal boss, does 12 damage on hit on hard difficulty. A literal demonic entity in the lore that decimated humanity does less damage than a single Piglin Brute, which does 19.5. Just that fact alone makes the Bastions an actual terrifying place to explore now, because simply putting on gold won't work anymore. Now, you can just put 2 blocks up instead and then still work out. Pillagers. I'm also putting the Vindicator here because he's kind of similar to the Pillager. Firstly, let's talk about the Vindicator, which I really like. He's just faster and hits harder, and his design also looks pretty cool. So he does get a low A tier, and the reasons are kind of the same as the Piglin Brute. Really high damage, good challenging fights, and a dangerous enemy that cannot be taken lightly in early to mid game. However, The crossbow variant, I'm giving him C tier. Firstly, the design is just weird for me. No clue why he got them love handles, like he just ate a bunch of food or is wearing one of them jester pants. Like, how does that fit a dude who raids villages with a freaking crossbow? Second of all, his AI sucks. Like, he just stares at you whilst he takes 20 business days to reload only to fucking miss and then just continue to stare at you. There is no mechanic for him to at least back away like skeletons, or maybe do something like the blaze that hits you with melee attacks whilst reloading. No, he just looks at you and prays they don't 2-tap him with a netherite axe and then move on to the next target during a raid. Ravager. Now this is an actual monster, because despite the Ravager doing less damage than a Vindicator or a Piglin Brute, its sheer size and intimidation this guy brings to the raid is just beautiful, because seeing one right into the village is something that would make anyone who's doing a raid for the first time shit their pants. Another reason why the village in Pillagers is one of the best updates out there. The way this mob works, moves, bites, sounds, it's just amazing. I simply cannot give this guy anything below an S tier. Mojang needs to continue adding mini-boss like mobs that just look so goddamn cool and fun to fight. Wow, these were some great mobs that we were just talking about. Almost 3 back-to-back mobs that were really high tier. And what do we have next? Oh, yeah, fuck this mob. I don't like it. They sound annoying as fuck. Their design is also really goddamn boring. Like, it's just some bold ahead in a Shulker. Fighting them is annoying as hell and more tedious than challenging. And the only good thing they have is Shulker shells, which by far the only good way for you to remove inventory clutter in vanilla Minecraft. Oh, but what about that is a conversation for another video. Anyway, this mob gets a low C tier, and I mean that because he's barely squeezing in there. Silverfish. Well, you can, I mean, you could use the, but the, oh, hi. Yeah, this is past me trying desperately to think of something to add about this mob. This is future me, and I've decided to spare you an extra minute and throw this mob into F tier. Moving on. Any day now. You'll probably hit a shot. Yeah, I really wish I had Bedrock to experience what actual skeleton's aim feels like. Would the skeleton be one of the oldest mobs you think I shouldn't due to how annoying he is? But even so, I think he's still really good. Granted, something like the Bogged gives frankly the exact same drop, plus a tipped tarot, which is why I put him in C tier. But for the normal skeleton, I'm putting him in B tier, because at the very least, I don't have to deal with fucking poison whilst fighting him. And on top of that, it's easier to use normal skeleton to get discs from creepers instead of other variants. Plus, it is nice that you can get skeleton horses by having to wait for him to spawn with the whole group thing. I still don't know how that works, but you know, it's nice that you can get a horse in survival without shitting it in, because I had to. Slime. The slime is one of the most complicated mobs for no goddamn reason. Tell me, out of all of the rare mobs that exist in the game, why is the slime one of the only ones that has specific chunks in the world for it to spawn? It's a fucking slime, not a godly deity. Why should I have to look at wikis and websites to know where a slime chunk is for fucking slime balls of all items? Yeah, I know slime balls are great for slime blocks and redstone contraptions, which is cool to build one, but at the same time, but they can also spawn in swamps during a full moon. Yeah, that doesn't make it better. They're slimes, not werewolves. Why do they need a full moon in the first place? Why not just make it during a normal fucking night? Anyway, I'm giving the slime a C tier. It's a cool mob with interesting mechanics, but way too rare and annoying to farm just for some goddamn hit or miss drop. Stray. This is one of those mobs that I think is a necessary evo to be in Minecraft. Yes, I hate the fact that it gives you slowness when he shoots you, but since I'm in Java and not Bedrock, I don't have to worry about the Stray ever hitting its shot. What I do like about him is the fact that out of all the skeletons, the Stray looks the best, and I'm happy that we all have a code type mob that isn't this fucking bear. And yeah, it's sad that we never got the Iceologer, but you know, we got the Copper Golem, So I'm probably sure in the near future, we're gonna get the Isolager. Anyway, any other information about the stray similar to the normal skeleton, apart from the skeleton horse thing? So I'll still put him in B tier next to the OG skeleton. Vex. The Vex is one of those enemies that Mojang had no clue how to make challenging, so they just made him the most annoying fucking mob probably in the entire game. You see, the Vex is supposed to be a glass cannon mob. However, due to how shit hitbox is, and the fact that for some fucking reason the Vex can go through walls, but the ally can, even though they're lore-wise the exact same mob, I'm sure somebody in the comments can pull some stupid lore reason on why they're different, but for gameplay reasons, it's stupid. Remove their ability to go through walls and just, that's it. That'll just make them 10 times better. And I'm sure these mobs will not be as hated as they are now. They don't even drop anything cool and are just there to make sure that the Evoker is a goated mob, since these guys suck ass. So I'm placing them in D tier. Warden. Yeah, S tier. Not even a debate. This mob is a fan favorite and frankly the best mob Mojang has added in the past 5 years, and arguably one of the best mobs added in the entire game. Not only do they have one of the best mechanic, that being the can't see you but can hear you, which is by far one of the best horror mechanics that to this day still makes me shit my pants. It also looks really damn cool, and I'm happy that Mojang went out of their way to make this mob look scary and cool at the same time, with his ribcage open and his heart being shown beating, and the fact that when he butts you, the heartbeat speeds up, which is, oh my god, it's such a butt clencher. That is absolutely beautiful. Mojang and the people behind the Warden absolutely cooked with this mob. Despite me hating Mojang because they're an incompetent fucking company, they do sometimes whip out the craziest fucking mobs to add to this game. The Witch is one of those mobs that I think needs a bit of an update. Yeah, she got some small AI changes during her 1.14 update where she played a support role during the raid while killing and buffing other pillagers. But I think it would be cool that the natural spawning witches are neutral type and you can maybe even trade with them since they resemble villagers. Hell, a villager struck by lightning turns them into a witch, so it kind of confirms they're basically a villager with a hat. We don't really have villagers that can be counted as an alchemist, and no, cleric does not count because despite having a brewing stand as his main block of use, he doesn't sell you any fucking potions. And no, the XP potion does not count as an actual potion because it doesn't give you an effect, it just gives you XP. Moving on. I think giving the trade mechanic to a witch would be cool because currently having to spot a witch and all she does is throw potions at you, it's kind of boring. She does, however, have a huge fucking drop rate, a lot of good items, but even so, it's fine. She's cool to fight sometimes, unless she just throws a poison potion up the bat and you have to wait 40 fucking seconds, or however long it is. But whatever, I'm still putting her in B tier, because she's still a cool mob nonetheless. Wither Skeleton. With how big and long nether fortresses are, it's nice to see the Wither being one of the core mobs since having only blazes, it would make me mad. It would generally make me go insane. The Wither Skeleton is another one of those aura farmers where they just stand at the edge of the fortress bridge and just stare at nothing. And plus, they're actually kind of threatening due to the fact that the Wither effect, paired with sizable damage, can do 12 damage on hard difficulty. That is still pretty good. That is a 2-shot without armor. And of course, the main reason I love them is the Wither heads, which is pretty goddamn annoying to get because they have 2.5% chance of dropping. Like, come on man, just like, Steve, just hit them in a way to make their goddamn heads fall off. But whatever, I'm still placing these guys in A tier because of just how important they are, how good they look, and how dangerous they are. Zombie. Yeah, I never cared about zombies. They're the most plain enemy in almost every game you can imagine. Green skin, walk slowly. It's like an 8-year-old kid, unless they have some sort of tool on them. And like, they sometimes drop stuff that aren't really important. Wait, is that fucking lava chicken? The main thing I can think of is the whole villager converter thingy, but that is a really damn specific thing to give them a positive. Rotten flesh, which is completely useless, only being used for villagers trade, and that's it. Any other variant of the zombie I've missed gets the same thing as any normal one, so that is C tier. Wither. The Wither is the best mob of the 2 bosses that we have. Not really a competition. I'm not counting the Warden because he's not made to be fought, but the Wither is. Without a doubt, the Wither gets an S tier. However, he gets a low S tier because although he's really cool looking mob and actually hard to fight depending on your skill and equipment, his drops, okay, they're kind of fucking mid. You had a fucking battle of the ages destroying the landscape around you, unless you were a bitch and you went underground to trap him in a tunnel, but you're not a pussy, are you? I'm sure you can fight him above ground too, right? And anyway, after defeating him, granted the Nether Star, which looks so goddamn cool and looks like an item that will craft the most important thing ever just for it to be the beacon. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the beacons are bad. Okay, I think the beacons are bad because you need an entire pyramid of ore blocks, not ore blocks. Each block is 9 specific ore, okay? That's insane amount of fucking ores. And on top of that, you need to kill the wither and craft the beacon just for you to get a effect in a certain area. That is stupid. And I know some people are gonna say, oh, but you know, you could build the pyramid and get haste and do a bunch of excavating. I don't want that. I don't want to build a giant pyramid or collect a bunch of ores just so I can mine slightly faster. That's so stupid. I feel like the beacon should be buffed to give you the effect permanently anywhere you go. And the only time it gets removed is if you die or you drink milk. I don't want to build a beacon and then have the effect for 100 blocks. I want an actual reward for a boss that is by far the strongest enemy in the game. Apart from the beacon thing, the wither is by far one of my favorite mobs. Probably top 3 best mobs in the entire game. I'll talk about the beacon in the future videos. But for now, let's just get to the last mob. Ender Dragon. Oh man, do I have things to say about the Ender Dragon. I don't like the dragon, and I've been very vocal about how shit the mob is. He looks outdated, very blocky, with next to no cool details at all, doesn't really do any scary attacks, and then just sends shitty AoE attacks that only gets people with no fucking spatial awareness. His whole mechanic is just flying around the entire island, and then sometimes he perches you to do some damage. It's not even that hard to fight it. And don't get me started on the goddamn obsidian pillars with the goddamn crystals. They aren't even hard, just annoying. And for some reason, Mojang's way of making them hard is to add iron fences, which gameplay wise is fine, but lore wise it makes no fucking sense because who put iron gates there in the first place? Did the dragon do it? Probably not, because why would they? How would they even get iron fences? Did the Endermen do it? Why would they do it? Aren't they like enslaved by the dragon? So were they forced to? And where they even fight iron fences? Did they craft them? Because I'm pretty sure you barely find any iron fences naturally spawning in the world, which means they can craft. But then that complicates the lore entirely because they just why is there iron fences in the first place? Right, I got off track. Drop wise, the dragon drops nothing apart from good amount of XP and the egg that you can do nothing with. Plus, due to how buggy the portal was, most XP and items thrown in the portal would have been glitched and it would spawn hundreds of blocks in the air, which is stupid and I don't know why. You don't even need to fight the dragon to get the good stuff like the elytra or all of the drops from the end city. You can just bridge away from the end island. The only thing you need the dragon is to go away from the end. It's so stupid. Yeah, I'm giving the end dragon D tier. Okay, future me here, I've decided to do a couple of changes. Firstly, the Bogged and the Pillager will move up because my OCD is killing me and this tier list looks way too uneven. Yeah, it looks way nicer. Oh, and with that, we're done. I'm finally done rating mobs for the game. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video.